Okay, welcome back to the podcast. Here we are, going to talk about stuff again.
Guys,
so
it's kind of my thing.
I did it this week. That's
but
cool.
You didn't even want to do it at all last week, so it's kind of my thing.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast for another episode. We're going to be talking about certain things and how we feel about them. Let's get into this.
Most vague introduction.
I recently went to the movies, and I watched a movie. It was Wolfman, and it was dog shit. Let me tell you why.
I fucking hated Wolfman. I thought it was one of the worst movies I've seen this year, and that says a lot because I saw Oppenheimer. Basically,
people said good things about Oppenheimer.
It was just like 3 hours of Cillian Murphy sitting fucking butt-ass naked in a chair with like math equations flying past him. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, but the movie to me
it was
experimental.
Like,
first off, this movie clearly was trapped in development hell, what they call it, because it went through years and years of development, although it's been done multiple times before, but this particular version where Ryan Gosling was in it, then due to a scheduling conflict, apparently he had to change and not be involved in the movie anymore, which is interesting.
He tried to save his career.
Yeah,
by getting out of
I'm sure that's what it was. The script sucked, to be quite frank.
Realizing, wow, this is a pile of shit. Let me leave.
Characters were completely unbearable, insufferable. That's the word, right? Insufferable?
Yeah, it's a word. No, but they weren't insufferable. That's like licorice pizza's insufferable.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say insufferable. Just I didn't. You're supposed to care you're supposed to care what happens to them. And I was honestly waiting. I was hoping that the wolf would fucking eat them.
You know, a horror movie is bad when by the end of it you're like, I hope this person dies.
Yeah,
I went from wanting you to live.
I was rooting for Wolfman.
The Wolfman. Well, the kid in the beginning. His dad was weirdly unnecessarily hard on him for.
Yeah, the movie was just one of those things that's like.
And when he grew up, you'd think he was gonna grow up to be a badass, but instead he's a pussy.
It's one of those movies where it's
puts on makeup.
The entire movie didn't need to happen because the guy basically knew growing up on the farm. Spoiler alert! Even though you're not gonna watch this piece of shit movie. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but I didn't like it.
No, it was that.
Growing up on a farm, it's crazy because I love Blumhouse movies and I love what they do, but I just
that's
didn't
the
like
first
this
movie I've seen
movie.
of theirs that sucked.
Well, I guess we had high expectations, but let me get to the first
I actually
point.
had incredibly high expectations.
They didn't need to be there. The kid grew up on the farm knowing, oh yeah, there's a crazy werewolf in the woods. And then his family's going through like some problems, and his wife wants a divorce. His wife doesn't love him because he acts like a woman. And then it's like, let me bring my family back to the farm where I almost got killed as a kid, and that'll solve it.
It really makes absolutely no sense. This movie did not have to happen. They go on and be like, okay, so our family is falling apart. What makes any family get back together?
Death experience.
A near-death experience, trauma, and like a weekend in the middle of fucking nowhere.
The first thing that was so unrealistic for me was not the Wolfman. It was, let's take a trip to Oregon. Who the fuck
Nobody goes
to
to Oregon.
But that's neither here nor there. Basically, the problem that I had was I just seen Speak No Evil, and that was so well done. That was so good. A24.
It's got James McAvoy.
Wait, that was no A24?
That was A24.
I thought that was Blumhouse.
No, that was A24. Speaking of Evil...
I thought A24. I always thought
they're another company. They do a lot more artsy-fartsy stuff, but they have some great horror movies as well.
Their movies are all kind of like, they're very selective.
Yeah. But A24 is good.
But all these companies are.
They're
Blumhouse
prestigious
should have been
company.
a little more selective.
Well, it's a great concept. The only problem was the script just was bad. The script was bad. There was no movie there to begin with.
I think it would have been great. I think it would have been great if it just had a different scripts, different actors, different visual effects, different soundtrack,
different story altogether,
different location.
And also, I mean, here's the thing.
It's kind of like they took the classic Wolfman idea and they raped it.
Benicio del Toro's was cool though.
Have you seen the South Park movie episode where they're like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are raping Indiana Jones, and they literally show him getting raped by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas?
No,
I've seen that one.
We'll have to show you the clip. It's insane. So you just said that it was very similar to that. They're because they raped the movie by just fucking it over and screwing it up.
So
they took the scene that was shot from Deliverance.
You'll find a lot of
these
pig,
and they just it was like the worst.
A lot of these really good comedies basically just take scenes from serious movies and adapt them to ridiculous movies.
Which Indiana Jones did they rape?
They're just saying because they kept remaking it and making sequels and stuff like that. I think this was in referring to like the.
They probably did.
What's the one that came out when we were like 9 years old?
The Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull.
That was I liked it.
Which I thought it was cool, but no, looking back on it, I can see why it gets clowned because Shia LaBeouf is like swinging through the forest like.
They make Shia LaBeouf like a badass when he's like even Stevens kind of.
People have been saying on the pod, I look like Shia LaBeouf, and
they take that they call any like young looking dude
with like curly hair maybe.
Yeah, they say like you're Tom Holland or
I've gotten
Shia
that a
LaBeouf.
bunch. Tom Holland. I've gotten
Tom
Shia
Holland
LaBeouf.
is not so far off though, but Shia LaBeouf is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was told Tom Holland, like, I had a Tom Holland quality, but I don't look like him at all.
Who
Because we have boyish charm.
said that to
Yeah,
you?
I
That's
think
All the
what I
men in our
say.
family do.
That was a coworker at work one time. They're
Was
like,
she
"Oh,
black?
It was a guy, actually.
Was
but
he black?
Yeah.
Because we all look the same to them.
Yeah, he was like, oh, you got that. No, but we was talking about age. He was like, oh, you've got that Tom Holland quality. It's like, I can't tell. You could be like 30 or you could be 15.
Oh, okay. Well, when elaborated on that makes a
So,
little more
yeah.
sense.
I get that all the time because people don't know how old I am.
But people actually think you do look like Tom
People
Holland.
think I'm like 20, 21, not 25.
I've gotten... First time ever I didn't get ID'd. It was kind of disappointing. I
Yeah.
ID'd.
Me too. The second I turned 21, I was like, oh, I can't wait to use my ID.
No, I got ID. I didn't get ID'd when I turned 27.
I never even
Really?
used fake
Yeah.
IDs.
I'm saying I've been ID'd every single time I go anywhere since 21, except for like a month ago.
Oh, I stopped getting ID'd the second I turned 21.
The one time I used a fake ID, I was 23 years old, and as a joke, I showed the McLovin ID, and then this asshole bouncer took the ID. So you use a fake ID at my bar, that's a felony. First off, I should have called the cops on him because it's a felony to take someone's ID, real or fake. It's theft. Then
Actually,
on
no,
top
if
of
it's
that,
fake, that's the
I went and I found the guy's Instagram
It's like
profile
calling
because
the
he
cops
worked at the
they
bar.
someone stole your drugs, which
Yeah.
almost happened to us.
I went and I found the guy's Instagram profile because he worked at a bar, and then I contacted everyone on his following list, and I took his profile and I put it on the ID for McLovin, and I called it McChubbin because he was overweight. And then I put that on a T-shirt, and my plan was to sell it and give it to all his coworkers until he committed suicide.
Chubbin.
I
Yeah.
think you should have like distributed those for free on the line. People would have taken them and like, God, that'd be so funny.
Actually, that's somebody let me in earlier in the night. He was being an asshole. I was like, "Fuck you!"
Oh, yeah,
as I was leaving.
Outside of the door, you remember when Quinn went?
Yeah,
like,
he
this?
He's
said,
like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!"
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Right?
And then he's like, why aren't you letting me back in?
And then I came back an hour later. And then
You're like, what did I ever do to you?
Yeah.
nah, he was an asshole though.
So was the other.
I can't stand bouncers that are like that. Some bouncers are cool. but
Bouncers
some
are
of them
cool.
are like these like pent up little like angry nerds.
Bouncers are those people who like have, in my opinion, have had like no real power or significance in their
Yeah.
life until they get an ounce of power and it gets to their head and they go nuts.
Not all of them, but some of
They
them.
think
A
that the
whole lot of
position
them.
comes with a badge, and it doesn't.
Very similar
Yeah.
to Elon Musk.
I want to talk about the story, though, about how
Elon
people
Musk-
threatened to
We're gonna get to him later in
call the
episode.
cops on us because they accused us of stealing their drugs.
Wait,
we were
when did this happen?
at a house party with White Boys of Swag, and we left the next day. The page gets a DM, our boy band page, and this fucking crazy bitch is like, oh, you stole all of our weed. You stole all of our pens. You're going to either give us the money for it, you can give us the pens, or I'm going to call the cops. And we told her, go ahead.
You should have wrote to her. You should have said, read that last message.
No,
you
I
just
wanted
sent
her.
to me out loud."
I wanted her to do it. I was like, do it.
Then they started posting.
She
the
would
other
figure out.
guys.
She's about to say it. She's like, so officer, somebody stole.
Which none of us
Never
even,
mind.
None of us even do drugs. So we were like, we don't do that stuff. So it wasn't any of us. And then she's like, we know you did it because you're the only one. And it turned out to be one of her piece of shit friends.
Then they
who
started
robbed her.
They started posting
how did
all
you
of
find
our.
out who-
Well, I'll explain. They started
who it
posting
was?
all of our, not mine, but everyone else's locations on social media and where they lived. And then they went to the cops. But like we went to the cops, like our group of people, just to let them know like there's weird people accusing us of stealing their drugs, posting our address, and telling for people to jump us. So we tried to get that out there. And then when they found out that it wasn't us who did it, because we've never touched drugs in our life, and none of us did or do drugs. So why would we be stealing the drugs? But anyways, they found that out. They're like, oh, we're sorry. You guys want to come to the next one? Like, and then every time they were around, we would like run. We'd get the fuck out of there because, quite frankly, they're nuts. And I don't.
We'd be at something, and then the
Why are you
crazy
leaving?
kids would show up. And, peace.
Because you tried to accuse me of stealing your drugs and try to have us jump last time.
No, but it was funny because right after they found out, they actually told us the leaker of the addresses, and then we figured out who that was.
So we did.
And it was
It
somebody
was
else.
one of our friends. It was the
It was
guy
our
who-
friend's
he was his
friend.
best friend.
It was like his best friend, and he fucking turned out to be a piece of shit, and he
You know why he
leaked
probably
the
did
address.
it? He probably liked the girl and was trying to like impress her or get on her good side by leaking his best friend's address.
I don't know, but what a dickhead, bro.
What a piece of shit loser. I don't care.
I actually saw him a lot after that happened
Yeah.
in New York, but I was just like, that's not cool.
Wait, was he the kid who rode the train with him?
Yeah.
He's like a Middle Eastern kid?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was him.
That's him.
Oh, fuck that. What a loser. Yeah.
That's the one. Anyways, we were talking about Wolfman, then we ended up on,
getting jumped.
Getting, a bunch of people who accused us of stealing drugs. So, that reminds me of blue-collar workers.
We have a board with everything written.
We have a board of topics, and I'm just trying to transition here.
Now, I got a good story about blue-collar workers. That's why I put it on the board. So a couple months ago, my car broke down in the parking lot where I work, which my job is in marketing. Excuse me, it's in media and marketing. And so my car's broken down. I call the tow truck. He comes, and I'm just making small talk with him. Hey, so, how do you like this? How's it going? He's like, yeah, man, I hate my job. First thing out of his mouth. I was like, oh, okay, well, it seems good. You got your free time. He's like, actually, I like my job. I like it. I was like, that's good. That's good. Yeah. He's like, what are you doing there? I was like, oh, I'm at a desk. I'm, working. I was like, because I know being a tow truck driver would suck. So I was trying to make his job sound better than mine. I was like, yeah, I work at a desk all day. He's like, yeah, that sucks. At least with my job, I have freedom. I get to leave the desk. I don't have to sit around all day like a subservient bitch. And I was like, all right, dude.
He said that?
He didn't say that word for word, but he high-key started just shitting on my job as I was
trying
to
make
it
sound
sound better.
like he really needed that to make his day better.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, dude, you take it out on me. You let it rip.
Yeah,
because this would suck.
Yeah.
If you would have told him you had a dream job, he may have driven his truck off a bridge.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, and I like my job, but I was like, yeah, it's it's got its cons, it's got its pros.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I couldn't imagine sitting at a desk in the air conditioning in the summer. I like to be out in the heat.
Underneath a flaming hot car.
Yeah. In the wintertime, I like to be in the cold.
If I'm talking to somebody who I know is not crazy about their job, I downplay. I love my fucking job, so I have to sit there and be like, oh yeah, just editing all day. I love editing. I love doing all that stuff. So I have to sit there and make it sound like I don't.
Wait, without saying names, who do you speak to that doesn't like their jobs?
How do you answer that question without saying names?
Say their jobs and their first initial and the first two syllables of their last name.
I would say it's people who aren't really working. Anybody who's not working in the field that they really like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you're talking to a fast food worker, and that's
well, a lot of people I know actually went to college and they haven't been able to land on their feet in a job that they like. I was door dashing my first year out of college, so it's not always like it happens. Don't expect to get your dream job right out of college. I think you should.
You should,
but unfortunately, the way the world, it's not like that.
I had to do a lot. The degree actually got me nowhere and nothing. All of my, accolades and everything that I got after college was because
my accolades?
Yeah,
what did you accomplish?
Like my social media, my portfolio, that all happened because I just had to go and do it myself. I didn't send in my resume with a diploma. I sent in my resume with a portfolio.
Player acts like he's got an Olympic gold medal.
All right, nobody cares about diplomas.
That's exactly what I don't know what this fucking idiot's going on about, but point is, they don't care about diplomas. They care about the stuff you do on your own.
They don't care. Jobs don't care about college for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not anymore.
You won't get your dream job right out of college because they don't really care about college. They care about work experience.
Yeah. Though I don't regret going to college because the experience is fun, but did it give me any useful skills? Absolutely not.
I started working at the dollar store when I graduated.
So you got some useful
And it wasn't a nice dollar store. It was the ghetto dollar store.
What is a
They
nice
ranked
dollar
them
store?
on threat levels.
Dollar
and mine was
store.
ranked at 3.5 out of 5 stars.
That is retarded.
And the only ones that reach 4 and 5 stars are in the Bronx and Queens.
And this was in the nicest area on Long Island, just in the crappier part of the nice area.
There's a really nice area where we live, and then there's one stretch of it that's, people get shot, stabbed with samurai swords, and terrible things are always happening there, and that's where I worked.
Tell about your second day on the job.
Yeah, so my second day on the job, somebody actually overdosed mid-robbery. That's it. That's just what happened. Yeah.
What happened? You started
Right in the middle of their grand heist, they just start convulsing on the floor. They have to get Narcan, and all the ambulances show up, and, yeah.
That's so fucked up and sad, too. I couldn't work there, but didn't someone also shit in the
Oh, yes. So somebody was pissed off that...
Tell us about that.
We don't have public restrooms because they will just go in there and do copious amounts of drugs, so we don't let them do that, or they'll shoplift. We know our clientele, okay? So we don't have public restrooms, but somebody took that as an invitation to go into the employee-only area, take a shit. They didn't hide it either. They took this shit in the middle. They cleared a space in the middle of the room. They took a shit, and then they opened up a case of toilet paper. And used
okay,
it.
so they wiped their ass at least.
Yeah.
Did they leave the toilet paper there?
Yep, everything.
That's disgusting.
Everything right in the middle of the floor. I got into work, and the first thing was my manager pulled me and he said, I need you guys to look at this. Come here. That's human shit right there. Somebody snuck in and took a dump in our warehouse.
Who cleaned it?
Not me.
That was like an actually probably scary job. I mean, I remember working late at fast food one night, and you'd have the crackheads sometimes come in, and one time one of them came up to us, and he was like, "Are there a lot of people back there with you?" As I was taking the garbage out at like 12 at night, I was like,
said yes.
Yes, and we have a shotgun. There's a lot of
packed
us.
right now. Miami crickets.
Crackheads.
Yeah, and actually,
I work with crackheads.
it got to me. I quit. The crackheads were so rude, and then my manager, like one day too, was kind of being an asshole, and then a crackhead, fucking crack whore, really pissed me off. So I just said, "Listen,
Wait,
this
how
is
was
my
your
2 weeks."
manager being an asshole?
Was it the manager, the cool one? Or
No, not the
That
cool
was the
one.
asshole one.
It was just like,
the cool one had the gat.
I mean, to be fair, like, I just didn't. I did not try, but I definitely didn't try it.
That's
Wait,
how
you also
That's
left
how I
out-
felt about Target.
Didn't the manager who had just gotten off probation bring a gun to work every day? Like, it was that bad. Like, the manager who was not supposed to even have a gun would bring his gun to work, and he just got off probation.
I was going to omit certain details, but
Well, it doesn't matter. Nobody can
Well,
put
that's
that.
not true. That store's closed down.
allegedly,
You can
The
say
store
whatever you
doesn't
want
exist
now.
anymore.
It's
It's
gone.
closed down.
allegedly there were firearms on the premises.
Allegedly.
All the
More
employees
like
had their own
certainly.
I was like, all right, so whatever you do, don't get me in the crossfire.
That's crazy lore. I wouldn't even bring, like,
God.
hold on, think about that. Bringing a gun to work, like, dog, just
Unless
give
you're
them,
a cop,
give-
why are you bringing a
'cause
gun
then
to
you're gonna
work?
get
Well, there were
charged for
people
shooting
there.
somebody.
There were people there
That's
who
just the
were.
cycle of crime. It's being a dumbass. You can't fight, like, working at the dollar store. I would rather get robbed than pull a gun, shoot the guy.
None of
commit-
this
like,
shit
it's
is
not
worth your life and
I,
your freedom.
They'll leave
I
you if you
didn't.
give
I
them
didn't
shit.
work night
Yeah.
shifts because
I'm gonna take it.
because of the area. I was like, I won't work night shifts. I'm available in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
You know, I've gone to that Planet Fitness next to that gym before at night, and I never saw anything.
Well, it's a membership gym. Yeah, you would never know.
No, but it's right next to.
Yeah, but you think crackheads have gym memberships to Planet Fitness?
No, I'm
there?
saying like I would expect to see some ruckus outside.
They come from the back.
You
the
probably
woods, they're
you
all-
probably could. There was one day that I didn't even leave my car there. My mom would drop me off because I was like, I'm not leaving my car in this parking lot. I just gotten a new car. It was a nicer car, and I didn't want to leave it around these degenerates. And so she drove up. She's like, "What are they doing?" And there was an entire crew of them all sitting there
crew of
taking
them?
hits, just literally sitting in like a circle.
having an orgy.
Outside.
That's called the soup kitchen. There's a name for that.
Yeah, Dirty Mike and the boys were running it back with a soup kitchen outside my
Wait,
job.
I would have filmed that.
And it was, she's like, I'm going to leave now. I was like, yeah, you get out of here. This is terrible.
Yeah, I don't have any. What other crazy lore is there? I mean, there's a lot that happened in between those years right out of
That's
college.
like my job right now.
That was it. It was about
Like-
3 or 4 months I worked there. And that was and like, it's not like I worked at other places and I'd worked there for, a while. And it was like, not my dream job, but I could do it. It's work, and you're making money.
He's the
I
boss.
couldn't fucking do it with this place. I was like, it's not worth it. So I quit.
Yeah, no, there's some jobs where it's like, I have it pretty good right now, but I mean, Five Guys. I used to work at Five Guys and I hated it. Purely, I gotta say, everyone talks shit about how like dirty restaurants are, and they are, and there's like really hard to keep a restaurant clean and sanitary. But Five Guys literally had the most clean kitchen, and we always made sure it was clean, and it was like actually very, very well kept. But like sometimes they wouldn't let you pre-close, so that means you can't close 10 minutes before the restaurant actually closes. You can't start cleaning up, and I get that. But what was annoying was we would have this one manager. Sometimes we had a system, me and my manager, Tom, who was a cool dude, and it would take us like 20, 30 minutes, clean the whole place, get home, carry on with our lives, because this is a part-time job. This one woman would make us stay till 3 a.m. cleaning. I fucking hated her. She was such a pain in the ass. She was like a nice lady, but she was like a literal pain in the ass. Keep us there till 3 a.m. cleaning grills.
I never.
Was that like your hours or?
No, I worked 4 or 7 to 10 p.m. We closed at 10, and then we would stay till 3 cleaning the kitchen.
It doesn't take that long. To
I
clean
know.
the
She
kitchen.
was
Yeah,
just
like, was that, like,
It
Is
takes
Is
an
that,
hour
like-
max.
Exactly. It
It's
shouldn't take
easy.
more than an
Like
hour.
how did like?
You would have to clean. Well, you'd have to empty the oil out of the fryers. You'd have to clear the oil. You'd have to wash and scrub down all the machinery. You'd have to empty the oil into oil pits, put new oil in, wash the floor, empty the milkshakes. Anything that touched food had to be cleaned, rinsed, and set up for the next morning. No water could be left sitting on any surface, on any dish, on anything. Every piece of silverware had to be washed.
You had
All the
real
milkshake-
silverware?
No, like the cutlery in the back.
Oh, the metal
and
things.
then everything had to be prepped for the next day. So much work, not worth the money. Not worth the $16 an hour.
No.
You know?
Actually, I mean, my first.
What time are we at?
20 minutes.
Five Guys was your first job, right?
We have to leave room for cooking.
Yeah, so we'll stop it. How much is on the card?
39 minutes and 43 seconds.
So we're going another 5 minutes with the pod right here. What was that, Harrison?
Said Five Guys was your first job, right?
Sky Zone was my first job.
I was thinking we've done a lot of grunt work jobs. Like
We have.
I did Wendy's, and I remember I didn't do the closing shift really ever, but I did nighttime sometimes, and the cleaning then actually went pretty fast. Like one person, the manager would bring their speaker, we'd blast music in the back, and we just cleaning and chilling.
We do that too, except it would take 4 hours.
And it didn't take very long. And
Oh, I want to talk shit about one place that I hate fast food. Shake Shack is the absolute worst restaurant on earth. I got a horrible experience at Shake Shack.
Cameron, you had one too, right?
Everybody's had a horrible experience at Shake Shack.
The only reason that I go there
It's not Shake Shack, they're a good time.
The only reason that I go there once a year is because the burger is really good. So I'll get one burger, it'll cost me $15, and I'll go eat it. I walk in there, they have this kiosk where you can pay, and then they have the front, and there's this weird-looking freak dude who's standing there at the front, like, just staring at me for 5 minutes, never once acknowledges me. 10 minutes later, someone from the back comes up to the front. Oh, can I help you? Like, no, I'm standing here for my own health. Yeah, I want a cheeseburger. It's frustrating. Then I order my cheeseburger. They brought it out relatively fast, but, like, the guy was such a weirdo who brought it out to me, and I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but when it comes to my restaurant dining experience, don't play with me. Walked it out to me, just kind of, like, looked at me, and then walked away. Didn't say thanks. Can I get you anything else?
That's nice that they took the time to bring you the food.
It was the weirdest experience, and I've never had a good experience at
I don't know
Shake
why
Shack.
they put the hamburgers in a hot dog shaped container.
They're so unfriendly.
They
bro.
didn't.
So stupid.
They didn't bring me the food. I went in and I ordered, and then it's just sitting there on a bag. And then this other dude walks over because there's multiple bags. He's like, "Is that an order for Tom?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, that's been there 10 minutes. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And he grabs his food and leaves. So then I go over, like, "Yo, my food's been sitting here too, bro. Are you kidding me?" Absolutely ridiculous. The food is really good. The staff is awful. The fries suck.
The burger's good.
The staff is awful. They're so bad at their job. And you go up to the cash register, and they're like, "Cash or credit?" Cash. We don't take cash. The fuck is wrong with
That's
you?
like the thing in Florida. Where the people
yeah,
in Florida, like every time we had an interaction in Florida, we went into the Walmart, give him a $100 bill. The guy starts inspecting it. Then he goes, "Here you go." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, sorry, we don't take cash." Why did you just inspect the money? Or what else happened in Florida? Like
So much happened in Florida.
no, like with employees.
I mean, there's the Florida effect.
Oh, there's so much. Like the straws at the restaurants.
What about the straws?
Um,
No, I remember the one with we asked for a cup of ranch, and instead of bringing us a fresh cup, they took it off of another table.
There's that. Then someone had the drinks were mixed up, so then instead of just going to get new ones, she just switched the drinks. Like, I'm not even kidding. In New York, and in at least New York and Long Island, where we're from, fast food service and food service in general is far better than in the South. Now,
Breakfast is...
they might have better like...
They're more polite.
They're more polite,
just a little
for
less
sure,
competent.
But, like, it is different.
I'll bear with them, though, if they're polite.
I like, even though if they could fuck up, like, everything, if they're nice about it, then I'm not going to be mad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's places on Long Island, like Brownstones, that place
sucks.
absolutely sucks.
They're not particularly friendly, and they're not particularly good at their job.
Also,
can't
so
have
it's
both
like
ways.
there's Chipotle in Lake Grove. Chipotle in Lake Grove, you're the fucking worst. Terrible.
I go there every day.
Chipotle in Lake Grove?
Lake Grove?
That particular one?
Yes.
They skimp on the portions.
I know. I put my camera
They
on so
suck.
the thing would film.
Oh,
it,
then they do
they
it.
do
Yeah,
it
if
right.
you put the phone on. Then
No, that one skips. So I go back because it's the closest to where I am during the week.
I hate them.
But,
I got Cabo
and this
recently.
dude was
Cabo's
just
really good.
just his attitude alone, like filling it up. He was doing it just so like skimping.
I was like,
everything.
do you have stock in the company?
Like, it doesn't come out of your fucking paycheck.
When I was at Five Guys, I used to fill bags like this with fries.
I would do the same at Wendy's. I stuffed the hell out of every pack of fries to the point where they said we're losing money.
Yeah. That happened to
And-
me. Why? Why not? Why not?
It's not my. It's not my. Doesn't affect my paycheck. I would do this thing called. I would put what I called mystery nuggets at the bottom of the fries.
Yeah.
So I would take whatever fry size I had. I'd stuff 2 or 3 nuggets in the bottom.
I would do that with hair. Mystery hair. And I'd put a hair. No, I'm kidding. I never did that.
So I thought, like, as a customer, wouldn't you just love to like order a fry and you get nuggets stuffed in there with it? Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
So then I did it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yeah. And then my manager told me, he was like, yeah, you're giving away food. We're gonna lose money on this. I'm like, oops.
I did retail, and it was actually, all things considered, very pleasant.
Up until you worked at the dollar store, I was gonna say you've had good jobs pretty much all the way.
Pretty much all the way through. The only one was that 3-4 month stint at the dollar store, and honestly, that fucking balances it out, because that job was so bad that it almost counterbalances all the good jobs. It was like this, and now it's like this, because one job was that horrendous.
The universe balanced.
I woke up every morning wanting to shoot myself
But also,
before I went to
your
work.
job right now is similar. Well, at least the clientele is similar to what I do every single day.
No, it's not. Oh, the
people.
where he works now, or the dollar store?
No, I'm at the dollar store.
Well, it's different.
Oh, the
You
dollar
gotta
store is
know
worse
yeah.
though because you're their friend.
But I'm their friend.
You're their friend.
No, it's nice to
They
wake
go to you
up-
when they need something. They go to me when they're looking to rob a place.
It's nice to wake up in the morning
Yeah.
and kind of be like, all right, I don't hate my job.
Though there was one guy who would, he was, a lot of them are criminals, but one guy in particular, he would ask everybody where they live. He'd ask what street you live on. I made up shit.
Yes, that's
obviously.
creepy. That's
But the dude-
especially when you know he's a drug dealer.
Also, he's
drug
a
buyer,
he's a
I don't know.
criminal, known drug dealer. I saw him one time on the grounds, like doing some. I was obviously like some kind of shady shit. I see him. I'm driving in. I'm about to park, and I see him dealing with some other guy. And then I look, and then they look at me in the eye, and I'm like, whoop, and I just turn my head and I
Don't
just
want to see that.
kept going. Like I didn't see anything. But this guy, he was just like he had like gang affiliations, I think.
Yeah, you
But-
must know where you live.
But he asked me also the first week there, he's like, so, I need you to do something for me. So how often do you get paid?
Isn't this the guy who took a cut out of your commission?
He tried to. He's like, so, here's what I need you to do. I need you to, every 2 weeks, I need you to give me half your paycheck. Can you do that for me?
Is he still there?
No, he's in a mental hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Is he ever
sense.
gonna come back, or is he like
No,
out
he's
for
never
good?
coming. He's gone.
What do you do?
There was a warrant for his arrest, and the sheriff kind of hunted him down. He was jumping off subway buses and running from the police,
Damn.
and they got him.
Damn.
And he's locked up. I mean, he's in a hospital, but
That's crazy.
yeah,
Literally, no pun intended.
literally crazy.